Hello, this is Miss Karp. I'm going to be going through our reading today, Murky Waters in the South China Sea. I want to remind you that the questions you're going to be answering for me today are going to be these questions down here at the bottom. So reviewing those questions is going to be a good idea before you start your reading. So we're looking for, in what ways does the presence of pollution in the South China Sea threaten food supplies? And why is international cooperation needed to save the South China Seas? So those are going to be things to pay attention to as we are reading. I'm going to start here on High Seas Highway. The South China Sea is part of the Pacific Ocean and is surrounded by China, Taiwan, and many countries in Southeast Asia. Because the sea links the Pacific and Indian Oceans, it's one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. The South China Sea is also an important region because of the significant deposits of oil and natural gas that lie beneath its waters. In addition, the South China Sea is one of the most diverse marine ecosystems on Earth. In fact, according to an environmental study conducted in the Philippines, the sea contains 1/3 of the world's marine biodiversity. So that's like fish and animals that live in the water. Tuna, mackerel, anchovies, shrimp, and other fish are abundant. There's a lot of them. Seafood is caught in the South China Sea is the main source of protein for millions of people living around the sea. Polluted waters. In 2007, Chinese archaeologists watched as an 800-year-old ship was hauled up from the bottom of the South China Sea. It was loaded with 60,000 to 80,000 artifacts. Some researchers estimate that 2,000 ships lie at the bottom of the South China Sea. However, dying coral reefs and contaminated fish also lie underwater, the result of pollution. Because of pollution in the South China Sea, the fish in its waters are suffering from a lack of oxygen. Low levels of this element are due in part to large quantities of organic waste, which is waste from plants and animals. Organic wastes, such as fertilizer, use oxygen as they decompose or break apart. The more oxygen they take from the water, the less that remains for sea life to breathe. In addition, the nutrients in organic waste cause algae to grow out of control. When the algae die and decompose, they absorb even more oxygen. So a lot of human waste is getting into the water, and it's causing there to be less oxygen, which is what the animals need to breathe, and that's causing them to die, and then it's this big cycle. In the lands around the South China Sea, farmers use 10 million tons of fertilizer a year. Sewage treatment cleans up only about 10% of the organic waste from the area, and the rest flows downstream. As a result, the South China Sea is filled with organic pollutants that threaten its health. Harmful fishing practices. Certain fishing practices are causing additional problems in the South China Sea. Fish for food, as well as fish for aquariums, are caught in the South China Sea using cyanide fishing. Fishermen spray a poison called sodium cyanide into the water above coral reefs because the reefs are like underwater jungles where many species live. Since the poison is diluted in the water, it doesn't usually kill the fish, but instead stuns them and allows fishermen to catch them. However, the poison weakens the fish. Many owners of tropical aquariums oppose cyanide fishing because fish caught using this method often die sooner than others. Cyanide fishing can also harm coral reefs. The poison collects on the reefs and kills them. Coral reefs are made from skeletons of tiny marine animals. The process takes years. Scientists are worried that coral reefs around the world are being killed by human activities more quickly than nature can replace them. Coral reefs are important because they provide a home for many different species of fish. They also supply food, jobs, and even sources of medicine for millions of people. Downside of development. The increased demand for fish in the South China Sea has helped fuel rapid economic growth in countries that border it. This growth has been called the East Asian miracle. Unfortunately, the miracle has come at a price. A part of the East Asian miracle is rapid development without the environmental aspects being accounted for, and the result is downstream degradation of water and other resources, says International Advisor Alfred Duda. So this is just saying that they have grown really quickly, and that means they built apartments and cities and towns and roads and farms, which was great, but they didn't think about how that would impact or affect the environment, and now they're seeing all those effects later, and it's bad. The chart on this page shows some of the land-based sources of this degradation or reduction in quality. Okay, so how things are going down from there. Reversing the degradation of the South China Sea's water and ecology is no easy matter. Several countries border the sea, and each has its own laws. However, the countries have decided to cooperate before it's too late. So this is going to go to that answer about how it's difficult and why we need international support to make a difference.